Hi, it's Erik, and welcome to our video conversation this week. I'm really looking forward to this weekend on Saturday. I'm going to be spending some time helping dedicate the new Military Family Memorial at our state capitol in St. Paul. It's the first of its kind in the country, and it pays homage to our military families, where we've had so many deployments of service members, but this actually recognizes the families that also sacrifice so much for our soldiers that travel overseas or are part of our military operations. Now we're going to get to our questions, and the first actually comes in from Tom and Hamill, who wrote in by email. And Tom writes in, Congressman Paulsen, in 1998, the Internet Tax Freedom Act was signed into law by President Clinton and later extended twice by President George Bush. This law prohibits government from laying taxes on Internet usage, thus keeping the Internet largely tax-free. I believe that preventing local, state, and federal governments from taxing the Internet is something that needs to be permanent. I ask you to work with your colleagues towards that end. Thank you, Tom. Actually, Tom, thanks for letting me know of your support for this legislation. As we all know, the Internet has fueled a lot of economic growth over the past decade and a half in particular. It's part of our economy in a substantial way. You'll be pleased to know that this week the House passed on a bipartisan basis legislation to extend this on a permanent basis, no taxing of Internet services. A lot of people use the Internet to start a business, communicate with family and friends, to educate themselves. We want to make sure that that service stands free to be unimpeded by additional taxation. That extension passed in the House with unanimous bipartisan support. I also received an email from Jacqueline in Eden Prairie, who writes in, Dear Representative Paulsen, as your constituent, I am writing today to ask you to co-sponsor the Medicare Continuous Glucose Monitoring Access Act. It was introduced recently on a bipartisan basis. The CGM is an FDA-approved, physician-prescribed device that detects and displays blood glucose levels continuously. A Senate companion has also been introduced in the Senate. Please consider this important bill. Thank you, Jacqueline. Well, first of all, Jacqueline, unfortunately 29 million Americans have diabetes today, and there are many more millions that are at risk of this terrible disease. And if we're actually going to be able to control healthcare costs, we're going to have to address chronic diseases like diabetes. And using new technologies to help address these issues is absolutely something that we can help promote and ensure happens even at the federal level. So one thing I'll let you know is I am co-sponsoring this legislation that you referenced in your email. It will make sure that new technologies that, for folks that have diabetes can actually continually monitor their glucose levels. And this makes sure that we not only have healthier patients, it will lower healthcare spending. So thanks for joining in this week for our conversation. Continue to reach out with me, of course, on social media or at our website at paulsen.house.gov.